You've been the most talked about talent in boxing for a good while. Why is that?
A proclaimed boogeyman of his weight class, that currently remains a clear-cut target for the new wave of welterweight challengers.
I'm gonna punish you, man. I promise you that.
Yet no one has managed to dent, rattle, or even unsettle this spiteful southpaw as he's continued to dominate everyone that's set front of him in his pursuit for pound greatness.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a way better fighter than Terence Crawford. Who has he fought?
So whilst we await his next upcoming bout with Yordenis Ugas, we thought we might as well take a flick back over a few of his most recent accomplishments, and some of those nights he managed to emphatically put the boxing world on blast. Starting out as a shining prospect full of potential, the early days of Spence's career quickly became a bottomless pit of knockout victories, as he often racked up his wins with a heavy-handed sense of style. Bringing us to our first fight on Spence's list of memorable nights, as he decided to take a risky step up to fight for a world title against an experienced veteran on his home soil.
I'm knocking you out.
With 36 wins and only one loss from his prior fight with Golovkin, Kell, the special one Brook, came highly motivated to prove a point against the new kid on the block that night.
Can the American cope at this level? Is he a sensation in the making? Or will Kell Brook prove formidable and ruthless?
Coming in the aggressor, Spence marched forward, landing his jab more than effectively against the Brit. However, being known for having impeccable timing and precision, Kell was able to use Errol's aggression against him, often walking him onto multiple counters.
This level, let's not forget Kell Brook. Oh, right hand from Brook.
Though Kell had racked up plenty of the early rounds, it was still looking close in terms of back-and-forth action. And with Errol starting to pressure and pin Brook on the ropes, the tide had started to turn.
Spencer here, really starting to pull away, and there's signs of desperation from Brook. Oh, Kell Brook's hurt here, and he's down in the 10th round, and it's so early!
The Brit's efforts to battle on throughout the latter half certainly kept him in the fight, but it was the heavy hands of Spence that caused Brook's demons of the past to eventually resurface.
Against Errol Spence, but he's gone down on one knee. He can hardly see out of it. It is all over, and Errol Spence Jr. from the Lone Star State is a new star of world boxing.
The following year, it was time for Spence to attempt another convincing performance in what would be his first IBF title defense. The opponent of choice, Lamont Peterson. A boxer that would maybe be considered a slight step down from Brook, however still a solid name worthy enough to add to his forever growing resume.
Peterson's going to have to outgrow and out-hustle Errol Spence in order for him to be successful.
But early on during the initial rounds, Spence's dominance prevailed even faster than it had before, leaving Peterson struck for answers as he started to absorb a lot of punishment.
Two big left hands coming back as Errol Spence, and that backed up Peterson. Backing up Lamont Peterson.
With Peterson's face starting to show an increasing amount of swelling, his team finally made the hard decision to pull their man out of there to avoid any further damage.
Errol Spence Jr. hogs Lamont Peterson,
and you can see
at
that
the end of the 7th.
Tough decision for Barry Hunter.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mikey Garcia.
One fight later, Errol's next opponent came as quite a surprise, as Mikey Garcia from the division below took a 7-pound jump in weight to challenge the #1 contender that had been destroying everyone in his path.
I'm just a little bit better in every little aspect. A little bit better in timing, a little bit better in footwork, a little better in speed, a little bit better here and there. And that's what I believe that will help me overcome his size advantage.
This seismic difference in height, as well as reach, was quite significant. But looking unexpectedly good from the first bell, Mikey managed to stand his ground, holding the center, landing a variety of slick punches.
So it's a cat and mouse game. He landed a nice little short right hand. Two of them right there.
Progressing further into the fight, it was Spence's work rate that had seemed to take over. And though Errol's size and spite caused problems for Mikey all night long, he still never gave up any attempt to win the fight, right up until the final bell.
All three in favor of the winner, remaining undefeated, proving he is one of the elite champions of the sport today, and still the IBF welterweight champion of the world.
Well, Spence off balance.
Now coming into his second fight of 2019, in a night that soon became an all-time welterweight classic, as known brawler Showtime Shawn Porter came with a whole new side that Errol hadn't experienced before.
We started off friendly. It ended with Errol saying, Shawn, you come out to box me on September 28th, I'll knock your ass out.
Known for getting up close and personal, Porter's style often made for a tough task ahead of any boxer on any level. And with plenty more experience against higher opposition than Spence, he posed a serious threat.
Oh! Porter coming right back. Whoever didn't tune into this fight is missing something really special right now.
Shawn's tenacity and non-stop momentum caused Spence more problems than he bargained for, as the pair were virtually glued to each other's chests, landing an incredible amount of punches during each second of every round. Though it had been such a hard fight to score, most still had Errol in favor, and after his flash knockdown in round 11, pretty much sealed Porter's fate there and then.
Errol Spence Jr.
With over a year out of the ring after enduring an almost fatal accident, Spence started putting the pieces back together when he arrived at his next bout against Philadelphian puncher Danny Garcia.
This time around, in Dada, we're not going to put it in the judge's hands. It's not going to be in the judge's hands no more.
Having been out of action for quite some time, the decision to accept a defense against such a dangerous and active boxer like Garcia seemed almost absurd.
He's such a complete boxer, but there's a hard left hand.
Coming fully geared to win, Danny's presence did cause problems for Spence at times, when he failed to avoid getting clipped with Garcia's signature right hand.
The Errol Spence that we saw last September. Oh, wow, right hand over the top by Garcia, but it missed.
At the same time, Errol made his own stand as he lapped up everything his opponent had to offer, returning fire with his equally efficient and spiteful intentions.
Every time they come out of a clinch and go back, Errol Spence is the one that's starting the action.
Once again, Errol had displayed a work rate and skill set that overwhelmed his opponent. And though Garcia managed to land some troubling shots at times, the more effective work and volume came from Errol landing him the favorable decision.
And still